mid-afternoon on a Thursday in Rocky Hill. When the smoke clears, these firefighters will return to their full-time jobs as computer programmers, utility workers, and teachers. You see, the men who risk their lives in this smoky fire are all volunteers. They're giving their own time, risking their lives to save the lives, businesses, and homes of others.
Most of the volunteer fire departments in those days experienced a waiting list.
That's not the case anymore. Things are a lot different from when John McAuliffe wore the uniform in the old Wethersfield Fire Department back in the 60s and 70s. There are no waiting lists for volunteer fire people, not in any town in Connecticut.
Working harder with less, and we need to help, and so does every volunteer house in the state.
Why are volunteers so hard to find? Well, it's tough to find someone willing to risk his or her life. Just last year, 2 volunteer firemen in Connecticut died in the line of duty. Their respective departments paid harsh fines after their deaths. But the risks are the same as always. What's changed and what's made it harder to find volunteer firefighters is the increased training demands of the past few years.
It's a lot of time. It probably works out closer to, I would say 180 hours by the time they even get on the trucks and start riding the fires.
On this Monday evening, after a full day at the office, these volunteers have to suit up and put in 6 more grueling hours, risking their own safety to learn to save others in an ice rescue. This all adds up to a huge personal commitment in an era of 2 working parents who hardly have time to be moms and dads, let alone local heroes.
You have to be single or have a real understanding girlfriend or wife.
Some of the calls 2, 3 o'clock in the morning where you're sound asleep, the tones go off, you get up, you go to the call, you're out 2, 3, 4 hours, and you realize when you get home it's 5 o'clock, it's time to get up, it's time to go to work.
Volunteer firefighters get paid little or nothing for what they do, but they have the same duties as career firefighters. That's why Help Wanted signs are up at firehouses all over Connecticut, because it's just so hard to work for free. At fire stations across the state, the plea is the same, because in Connecticut, a staggering 80% of all firefighters are volunteers. George Bush put out the call for 10,000 points of light, and President Clinton's AmeriCorps is designed to put volunteering back in the spotlight. But it's not just a matter of civic pride anymore. The call is out to relieve the burden of taxes by volunteering where government would otherwise carry the water.
People have to start realizing that they need to be putting time back into the communities to make the communities work. Because if we don't, our taxes are just going to go up higher and higher and higher.
Even as the ranks of volunteers dwindle, the need for them skyrockets.
When I first started in this department, we used to go to about 150 calls. I just got done doing the tally for this past year. We're doing 1,400 calls.
But as young families struggle to make ends meet with 2 jobs, guys like Jim Balamo may be a dying breed.
I started when I was 19. I was bitten by the bug, and I'll probably do it until I can't do it anymore.
And many of the departments tell me they're doing their best to recruit. Some are offering monthly stipends, and others have even offered pension plans, but it's still very difficult to get people to join the ranks.
It's a tough volunteer job.
Definitely.
Thank you, Irene.